First, want to thank our fans. They were incredible, and they showed up in large numbers tonight. And we're going to be better for them. We're going to work harder, and we're going to do a better job next time. I encourage them to stay with us. Um, this is one loss. It's not the end of the world, but credit to Iowa State. They came out and they did what they do at a very high level, and that is shoot the three ball. They end up with 16 makes in the game, and we've got to defend at a much higher level to compete. But credit to them for how they played and how they executed their game plan, and they did what they do at a very high level, and were very successful at it tonight. It was a lot. Communication was big. Just losing our man and not. Bottom line is we didn't defend with enough intensity and effort. That's probably my biggest disappointment, and things that we could control.
I guess the more positive end, you guys got kind of punched in the mouth in that first quarter and then came back in the second. What did you just identify a mismatch with Brittany inside and kind of keep going to that and knowing that you'd had success there?
Yeah, well, we defended in the second quarter. So offensively, the looks into Brittany were there throughout the game. They never really did anything differently to take that away. They doubled her a couple times there in the third, but we got good looks inside throughout the game. It's just we were able to get stops defensively, and it allowed us to get some of those offensive looks much easier than we were getting at other times.
You mentioned the defense. When you instant reaction, I know when you watch tape, different other things will stick out. Is that the thing you're maybe most disappointed about, instant reaction-wise?
Well, it is, just because it wasn't our best effort, if you will. And that's something that we'll revisit over the weekend here at practice, and we've got to come right back, and we've got to be way better at it. That's a controllable factor into the game, and we've got to be better.
Some of the girls have been through a tough loss like this, but maybe some of them haven't lost by these types of margins before. What do you tell them to keep that focus going through?
Well, it's a long conference season. This is first of 18 games here, and you can't get too high, you can't get too low. And, we're right in the thick of it here, and the next game's right around the corner. So you can't sit on it, but you absolutely have to learn from it. You have to grow from it, and you have to move on quickly.
You guys get into the gym for your next practice. What's the biggest thing you need to see, maybe body language from your players, that'll give you confidence that they'll rebound?
Yeah, well, I think you've got to respond. Again, nobody's going to feel bad for you. It's a tough league, and that's why we're here to perform and to compete in this league and at this level. And it's a great opportunity. And the next game is just that, a great opportunity to get right back on track. And we've got to refocus quickly and look at it that way. And we go on the road to TCU, and it's right into the next one. So we cannot sit on this very long.
In the second and third quarter, you didn't make any threes. Is that something that y'all need to work on more? Was it just shots weren't going down? Is it weren't getting open looks? What went on there?
Yeah, again, we got really good looks. We've got to be able to go get the second shot better. Rebounding is another area that we've got to focus on a little bit more. We've got to be better rebounding. We're going to take those. They're good looks. We just have to be able to go get a second shot when those aren't falling.
In the moments in those first and third quarters where things are seeming to get out of control, I'm trying to think of the way to frame the question, but as a coach, is it all you can do is about say something to them and hope that they kind of get the message, or how do you maybe be more proactive in trying to stop those big runs from happening?
You got to come out of a timeout and respond. Again, we called a timeout quick there in the third, and we go back out, and the same thing just continue to happen. Again, it's a lot of things that we'll learn and grow from this very, very quickly. From a defensive standpoint, we have to be tougher.
You mentioned that timeout you took so early in the third. What was sort of your thinking in calling one so early?
Well, they scored back-to-back, and they were wide open, and that's not how we want to come out from halftime.
Coach Brittany mentioned that they kind of show some things, or kind of they got to refocus, or got to change some things. Did today tonight, did that show you anything different about your team that you maybe didn't know or that you thought was different than from the previous 11 games?
Well, I think the biggest thing tonight is, we play a higher caliber opponent, and you got to defend at a higher level. They end up with five players in double figures. We have 3 in double figures, and on any given night in the Big 12, if we have 3, if most teams have 3, that's a good night. But you can't let the other team have 5, and it makes 16 threes.
I just knew that I was the bigger post player, and that was something that I had practiced all week, and so I didn't start off doing my job, and then coaches pushed me, and I did my job. So.
Third quarter, was it just a matter at a point of just maybe the looks weren't good enough, or just baskets weren't falling for you?
Probably baskets weren't falling. Yeah.
For either one of you guys, how tough is it just sort of when seemingly every shot is falling for them?
It's tough knowing that we didn't play our best on defense, honestly. I'm hoping that this is a wake-up call for our team because it is for me. And so I think props to them, they shot the ball really well, but I don't think we defended half as good as we could have.
Lexi, now entering Big 12 play, were you sort of able to how do you sort of look forward, obviously with one tough game after winning the whole non-conference schedule, at how tough this conference is going to be?
I just feel like we didn't play our best this game, and we're gonna come out and we're gonna have to fight for the next 17 games. We just have to do better.
Brittany, for you, what are some of the challenges that you face, especially defensively inside against a team like Iowa State, whose identity is shooting the 3 ball, and they spread it out so much?
Yeah, I am stretched out a lot more. I might just have to talk more and definitely just move my head a lot more because usually I'm used to seeing the whole court, and so a lot of times I can't see behind me, and so just turning my head and have better awareness.
And Lexi, Brittany kind of mentioned it too. You guys feel like you maybe didn't play your best game here tonight, but what's the message as a leader on this team that you're going to give this locker room who may feel a little bit dejected right now, but knowing that Iowa State really played the best that they possibly could here tonight?
Just knowing that we're better than what we showed out there, and that we're going to come back harder and we're going to play better defense.